Good evening, gang. Tonight you are going to learn about the last way that we describe lines that we are making. Remember, the whole point of this is you're learning how to make lines and how to describe them. The first way you learn about describing is that y equals mx plus b, where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. Okay, the second way we were talking about is standard form, where ax plus by equals c, and c is this total that they have to equal. And the last way you're going to learn is called point slope form, and the equation is, this one has I like to call them skeleton equations. It's not right, but I like to call them that. Has a skeleton equation of y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm not really going to focus too much on this, and I'll show you why. All right, go ahead and take your notebook out. You're going to be titling this point slope form, and the question you're going to be able to answer at the end of this video is, how do you write the equation of a line when you're only given a point and the slope? Okay, the first thing you want to do is fill out the table. So I'm going to put down T for T-chart. Okay, we're going to fill in our point. Before we fill in our point, it's super important that we start off at 0, because this number right here is your B. And when it asks you to write the equation, it is totally okay to write it in an mx plus b form, that slope-intercept form. If this is too easy, and I have some of you who are like, I got this in the bank, you're working on this other type of equation that I'll get to in a little bit. All right. Still looking to put that point on the table. So 0, 1. Now I have 2, 0. We're ready. All right. How are we going to fill in the rest of our table? We're going to fill in the rest of our table given the slope. The slope says 1 over 1, which means rise 1, run 1. So if we rise 1 and then we run 1, we'll go from 0 to 1 and 2 to 3. How many points do you need to make a line? You should be thinking to yourself, you only need 2. You only need 2. But if you want to skip the graphing part, you have to make more on your table. You have to go all the way back to where x equals 0 to find this b. If we're going to work backwards in our table, we're going to have to do our rise 1 and run 1 backwards, the opposite of them, so we'll have to fall 1 and go to the left 1. So if we fall 1, it'll become negative 1. If we fall again, it will become negative 2. And we found b. Right here's b. We wanted that. Now we have the slope and we have our intercept. We can make our equation. So y equals, slope is 1, x plus negative 2 is your intercept. And you did it. Remember, you can always rewrite this to say x minus 2, and those two are the same thing. Let me just show you what you just graphed. Here's what you just graphed. You graphed 0, negative 2, 1, negative 1, 2, 0, 3, 1. And since I'm making a line, it better show up as a line, and I know I'm on the right track. So that's one way. This is one way you can solve it. I'm going to erase this, and I'll show you the other way with number 2. So make sure you have this down. If you're not done, pause the video. All right. The second way that you can graph this and then find the equation is take your point, graph your point. Your point is 2, 3, graphed. Then you're going to take your slope of negative 1 over 2, so we'll go down 1 over 2, and we're going to make our line on our graph. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. We're going to make the line until we get that intercept. It is super important, if you are using the second method, that you are graphing your line as accurate as possible, because look, I found the intercept just by graphing. So here's b, and b equals 2. Now you can make your equation. So the equation is y equals, slope is -1/2, x plus 2. All right, this is going to be example 3. All right, and I'm going to use that first method where I'm just going straight from the table to find the equation. Okay, we are given a point on a graph, and we can go straight to our table, and it's -4, 3. Our important point that we want to find on our table is 0, so I want to go -4, -3, -2, -1, and 0. We want to find 0 because that's where we'll find our intercept. We're going to go from here and we're going to use our table. For every one we rise, we're going to fall 3. Sorry, we're going to fall 3 for every 4 we run. So fall 4, rise 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and from that point we're going to go to down 3. This was 4 and this was 3, so we didn't even need to have these middleman points. 3 minus 3 is 0. This should tell us that it's going through the origin, 0, 0. Okay, now we can make our equation. Y equals -3/4 x plus 0, or y equals -3/4 x. Same thing. All right, example 4, I'm going to do it the second way where I graph it. We're going to graph it. We're not going to use the table, we're going to use the graph. And it actually kind of makes more sense to go from graphing when you're given the point on a graph. Our slope is down 3, run 1. Down 3, run 1. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, run 1. If I'm following this pattern, I'm not going to get anywhere close to where it's passing through the y-axis, so I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to go up 3, the backwards. The opposite is to go up 3 and left 1. So that's what I'm going to do to find the other half of our line. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, all the way up here. And that's the only problem, oh, my line is horrible, about having a graph not big enough, is that this could happen. But on your graph paper, you should have one big enough, and here's what you should have gotten. You should have finished your graph to where it hit the y-axis, and mine's off here, and you should have gotten it hit at the y-axis at b equals 8. So your equation for this one is y equals -3x, the slope that's given to us, plus 8, the intercept we just found. All right, this is going to be example 5. And I would like you to solve this one on your own. Resume the video when you're ready. And remember, you can use the table or you can use the graph, whatever you want to do. All right, thank you for pausing your video and go ahead and going through and answering example number 5. For example number 5, your answer for this one is y equals -2/3 x plus 2. 2/3 x plus 2. You could have graphed the point, 3, 0, use the slope down to over 3, and found that it would hit up to 1, 2 over 3. At this, you could have used the table and make sure you're putting in 0, so 3, 2, 1, 0, and worked backwards to find where 0 is, but here's your equation you should have got. All right, this is going to be example number 6. Go ahead and pause your video and answer example number 6. Resume it when you're ready to see if you got your answer right. This one's equation is y equals 4x minus 7. My graph doesn't hit it. Yours would have to be slightly bigger because it will cross at -7. You could use the table, and you were given 1 is -3. Sorry, that's supposed to say 1 is -3. And then you would have to find 0 right here as your b using your slope. Okay? The last example that I would like you to try, actually I don't want you to try quite yet. I'm going to go over example number, I think 7. And I'm going to show those of you who are ready for the equation of y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Because this takes out both the table and the graph, and you can put it straight into the equation. Again, this is only for those of you who are ready to skip those 2 middlemen and go straight to the equation. Here's your m. It already states m equals -2. -1 is your x1 because it's your only point you're given, and -4 is your y1. It's the only y point you're given. So we're going to substitute all 3 of these numbers into the equation. So y minus -4 equals m -2 parentheses x minus -1. All right, those of you who are set in your algebra skills, we can go through and simplify this to say y equals. We know when we minus a negative, it turns into adding. So y plus 4 equals -2. X, when we minus a negative, it's adding plus 1. Okay, now we're going to go through and distribute out -2 to both numbers inside the parentheses. Y plus 4 equals -2x minus 2. To get y by itself, we're going to take away 4. Take away 4 on both sides. Y equals, because 4 minus 4 is 0, -2x, because -2x and -4 are not like terms, but -2 and -4 are like terms, so we're going to combine that, -6. And you did. Again, this is just for those who are ready for those algebra skills. You could have found this answer with a table. You could have found it with a graph. All 3 ways are okay. They're all okay. Go ahead and answer the essential question and then go take that checkpoint. I hope you guys have a good night. Bye.